this edition of One Play Wednesday, I've chosen to focus on Keaton Mitchell's 55-yard run against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the third quarter on a 3rd and 1. Helps the Ravens cut into a 20-9 deficit. We'll get the film started here from the end zone angle. Like I said, it's a 3rd and 1. The ball is on the left hash. Presumably, the Ravens chose not to put Derrick Henry on the field. My guess is because, maybe he was tired from getting previous carries. But in any case, the Steelers are having some trouble lining up. There's 2 receivers, and you will get the end zone angle. There's 2 receivers, you will get the all-22 angle in a moment. There's 2 receivers off screen to our right. So that's where Jalen Ramsey, or that's why he's going to, pedal out in that direction to try to match the numbers from a defensive standpoint. Keaton Mitchell lined up to Lamar Jackson's left into the boundary. It's a pin-pull concept. I call it pin-pull pitch because Lamar Jackson is opening to Keaton Mitchell as opposed to turning his back to Keaton Mitchell and then tossing it in the opposite direction. From the football terminology that I was taught, that's the difference between pitch and toss. Couple of things. You've got the pin down block by Isaiah Likely, number 80, that holds the edge defender. I think that's Highsmith, number 1. And then Ronnie Stanley pulling and kicking out the strong safety who's rolled up. I think that's Jabril Peppers. That allows Keaton Mitchell to get through, skip underneath, and then follow Tyler Linderbaum, whose block is just as important as anyone else's, basically forcing Patrick Queen to go underneath, and that is, really the death knell for this defensive look by the Steelers, meaning Queen going underneath means there's a lane there. The force defender is Joey Porter Jr. here, so force means he's the player to make sure that the ball goes to his inside. Technically, he'd be the secondary force defender, with the initial force player being Jabril Peppers. But in any case, once Keaton Mitchell cuts it and there's this wide open lane, I don't know about you as a Ravens fan, I was like, it's over. He just doesn't get caught. And he is at a deficit for maybe 3 yards, 2.5, 3 yards to James Pierre. I think it's pretty obvious that Keaton Mitchell, something happened with his knee or his leg around about the 20-yard line or just before that caused him to be unable to finish off this run. But you have to give James Pierre credit. He is tracking him and trying to gain ground. He did start at an advantage in that he was 2.5 to 3 yards closer to the end zone. Same play from the all-22 angle. Like I said, it's a 3rd and 1. The Steelers have just went up 20-9, which was a huge opportunity for Pittsburgh to take control. Keaton Mitchell's run really, I think, alleviated some of the stress for me as a Ravens fan, but probably for the offense as well. I think you get a really great angle of the block by the left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, on Peppers here, like I said, as the force defender. It's a pitch, so at some point, you're going at the NFL level, at some point you are going to have to cut underneath of a block, put your foot in the ground, and go downhill. At the NFL level, you're not just going to be able to take a pitch and run around the edge like you see in high school and oftentimes youth football. Stanley gets out there. It's a great job, if you ask me, of utilizing the athletic personnel along the offensive line, meaning the Ravens really only have 2, maybe 2.5, 3 athletes on the offensive line, and that's Ronnie Stanley, the left tackle, and then Tyler Linderbaum, the center. So they're using Linderbaum's agility to be able to get to the play side shoulder on Patrick Queen. Basically, once Queen chooses to go underneath, Queen's kind of damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. But once Queen goes underneath and doesn't take on the block at all with any level of physicality, there's a lane for Keaton Mitchell there. The outside linebacker, like I said, I think that's that's Holcomb, the backup inside linebacker, 55, who makes this diving attempt at Mitchell as a last-ditch effort to prevent him from getting to the end zone. There's Pierre. Like I said, he's about 2 to 2.5 yards in front of Keaton Mitchell. You can see by just the steps and the tracking, though, that Keaton, even from the 35 to the 20 or so, he isn't just leaving the guy. There does seem to be, I think, somewhere around the 20 or the 22. Something occurs with his leg. We've never really seen this before. Keaton Mitchell get caught. It's still exciting to see him make a play like that. Unfortunately, we know he went out with an injury immediately thereafter, kind of supporting what I was talking about, that he suffered some kind of injury during the play, wasn't able to probably really get into his 5th gear. We'd like to see more of that. If he's able to come back healthy soon in 2025. It does no shade, nothing, no shots at Derrick Henry, but we'd like to see Keaton Mitchell get more opportunities to make game-changing plays like that one because he has that ability, number one. And number two, we all remember how magical his rookie season of 2023 was.